All right, we're going to get a little informal today. Spartacus is back. Spartacus, the original series, may just go down as one of my favorite shows, if not favorite shows, of all time. I greatly enjoyed all 4 seasons to various degrees, but I wouldn't say there's any season of the show I don't like. I absolutely love that show. And for a very long time, I thought that was all we were going to get. Then, a few years back, I'm not exactly sure when it was announced, but I know when I first heard about it was a few years ago that they were going to be doing a continuation. I think it was unnamed at the time, and then it became named House of Ashur, which was always intriguing because Ashur died. Now, after some years, we are going back to the world, and we have a little bit to talk about. You'll notice I don't have my cohort with me today. We have not specifically spoken about if we're both watching it and how we're going to cover it. So for now, I'm just going to give my raw thoughts because I saw the first 2 episodes. The trailers were not being received very positively. A bunch of people had a bunch of stuff to say. I'm sure you can imagine what those things were. And I was really hoping that this show would be great. So how is Spartacus House of Ashur, the first 2 episodes? In a word, dope. First thing I think we should get into is that we are right back in the world of Spartacus. That spirit of Spartacus, that flavor that you're looking for, it's all there. The language, the gratuitous violence, the blood, the adult thing, it's all there. And if you would have watched the original series, got to the last episode and popped this in right after, you would not feel the difference, I would say. Let's talk about Ashur. Nick Terabay has been practicing this role in his room every night since the show wrapped, and you cannot convince me otherwise because he so seamlessly steps right back into the role of Ashur. He's the same guy. He's a little older, obviously, because time goes one direction, but this is Ashur. He has not missed a beat. He has not forgotten how to play this role. He feels just as devious and ambitious and in some ways funny as he did the first time around. And somehow they've managed to make him a bit of an underdog. And from the original show, Ashur is not a great guy. So he's not somebody that you inherently want to root for. But this show, at least in the first 2 episodes, have given a couple of reasons why you might want to pause for a moment and go, you know what? Maybe you are getting the raw end of the deal. One of the things I was surprised about is his reception in the general public. Because in this alternative history, he killed, or at least assisted in the killing of Spartacus. So I would think that he would be held in much higher esteem. But the show does give a couple tidbits of information to better explain why why he is looked down upon the way that he is. There are a lot of characters that get introduced in these first couple of episodes. I'm not so great with the names right now. I've seen both episodes once. I watched it in one sitting, so it's a lot of information coming at you at the same time. You've got your political schemings, you've got your in-house scandals, you've got some potential hints at affairs and things like that. It's all the stuff that you love about Spartacus without just retreading the show again. In fact, there is a character that is introduced in the first episode that is basically used, it feels like they're used by the writers to say, if you think we're about to retell the story of Spartacus, you are incorrect. I do find some of the different dynamics, how Ashur runs his ludus versus how Batiatus ran his ludus. I find the small detailed ways in which they're different to be very intriguing. Batiatus seemed to have a reverence for the blood and sand and the arena and the games and all of that. Ashur doesn't seem to have that. Ashur looks at it purely as a means to advance his own personal interests. But I would implore you to go with the flow because it is important to differentiate how Ashur is a different Lanissa and Dominus than Batiatus was. Our gladiatrix, who has been the subject of a whole bunch of ire online for the trailers and all that, I never thought it was a big deal. My biggest concern with this woman was not her presence, but more so, I did not want them to be afraid to suggest that she can't come in here and be the best because she needs to train like everybody else. And they didn't do that. She comes in, she has a little bit of, she's got moxie, but she doesn't come in here, she doesn't start washing everybody and everything like that. She's a rookie, she's just now getting started, and she runs into quite a few hurdles. The tension you could expect to feel within the Ludus between the men and this one woman is there. It goes against tradition, and some people stand on that, especially in shows like this. Tradition is everything. Ashur has what I believe is a pretty poignant statement about what tradition is. I will say I'm a little unclear as to what Ashur ultimately wants. I don't know if maybe I'm just not paying attention. My media literacy is not expert level, so there could be things I missed. It's definitely worth a looking. All the fear mongering around the show about all the reasons it would be bad, I really don't think any of that's here. I wouldn't say they're perfect episodes, but I would say they're not perfect in the sense that I don't know how it's ultimately going to end as the season plays out. So I can't judge how well or poorly it's setting things up, foreshadowing, laying the foundation. I can't really judge that at this moment because I don't know where it's leading to. But I get the feeling that everything is cool. One thing I hope they do, the show opened with Ashur in the underworld because we had to introduce some supernatural elements for the show to even exist, because again, he died. I would appreciate if there would be more underworld segments. I don't mean like every episode. We don't need to milk it, but just it seems like it could be a creative way to get some original characters back in, particularly those who may have specific beefs with Ashur. Characters like Barca, who Ashur is directly responsible for killing. I want to create a rating system for this show specifically, Spartacus theme, because I'm just in love. And I've come up with a 5-point system, all with terms or phrases based on Spartacus. At the bottom, so just absolute terrible episodes, I'm going to refer to those as the Appian Way episodes, which are where the slaves were crucified after the rebellion. That's where you go to die. It's over. There's no hope. This episode cannot be redeemed. Right over that, I want to deem it the Missio, which is when a gladiator is in a fight and he surrenders. It means it's a loss. You took a swing, you missed, but the Missio is for you to hopefully be able to keep your life so you can take another swing. So I didn't like it personally, but I don't think it's the kiss of death for the show or the season or blah, blah, blah. Let's get back on the horse, try again next week. Right in the middle is a new recruit for when they find new gladiators or new slaves to turn into gladiators or sizing them up. They're like, okay, from what I see, you're good enough to be in the Ludus, but we don't yet know if you're gonna make it. So those are gonna be your middle of the road episodes. You're just like, I don't regret watching it, but I know you can do better. Right above that, Mark of the Brotherhood. You have been tested. You have proven your worth. You are a certified good episode. And creme de la creme, top of the mountain, sacred ground. These will be the best of the best episodes, the ones that I will watch over and over and over and over again. And I hope this show provides me with plenty of those. As for the first two, I can't give it any top anything because I don't know if we are in the zenith of this show or the nadir. And so I don't want to risk diluting this new fake currency that I just created. So I'm going to say this show had a lot to prove in these opening episodes. It was kind of make or break for the audience. That was the test, as the gladiators have to take, to earn their mark. It passed the test. So I'm going to rank these two episodes Mark of the Brotherhood. You are certified good episodes. Welcome to the club. I can't wait for these next few weeks. I can't wait to see how devious we're gonna get, how violent we're gonna get. Oh, speaking of, there's an insanely violent moment in the second episode toward the climax. Oh my lord, I've never seen anything like that. This is the world of Spartacus. We are so bad. Oh, as I was watching it with friends, one of them recalled how much the original show gave them anxiety. We're back.